Central New York, and hello, hockey fans all across the internet, and welcome to 315 Hockey Live, brought to you by 315hockey.com and powered by My Little Falls. I'm your host, Scott Kinville, and we have got one heck of a show lined up for you tonight. Before I bring our guest in, I'm going to bring in my sidekick, our producer, our madman on the switchboard, and the man who's having a very happy birthday today.
That I am.
Mr. Dave the Save Warner.
Yep, I'm like 39 now. I think.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well,
I was trying to do the math earlier, but I got trapped somewhere in that new math.
Okay. Well, it's your story. Just stick with it.
I'm sticking with it.
You know, like I said, I was going to bring you a birthday cake, but we've already talked about that.
We did that. Yeah.
All the candles.
Yeah.
So.
Fire in the hole.
Pretty much, right? Anyways, like I said, we have got a heck of a show lined up for you. I'm just going to bring our guest in. He is the head coach of the 5th-ranked Colgate Raiders women's hockey team, coming off a big couple of wins this weekend. Coach Greg Fargo, how are you?
Doing great, Scott. Thanks a lot for having me back on the podcast.
Well, thank you for coming back on. This is odd. I think you're like our first returning guest.
Oh, wow. What an honor.
See, there you go. The one, the only.
Something right, I suppose.
Hey, well, I'll tell you what, by looking at the records here this season, you guys have done a lot right. And, let's just get right into this. So your team is 15-2-1 overall. You've got the nation's leading scorer in Daniel Sadecki. Your team is 7th in the nation in goals per game, 9th in the nation in goals against per game. So far, so good, Coach. What do you think?
Yeah, it's really been an outstanding start. I mean, we were talking offline there. We're heading into a little break here in December that we've been kind of eyeing for a little bit, but to go in with that kind of a record and having played not just the opponents that we played, the schedule, but like the fact that we've been on the road as much as we have been in this first half of the season, and to come out with that kind of a record, it feels good. I think I'd be lying to say that it didn't, and I think our players would agree. It certainly feels good to be at this point, heading into a little bit of a break now, with some really good work underneath our belt. And it's really been it's been a lot of fun, like coming to the rink every day with this group that truly wants to get better all the time. I think as a coach, that's all you can really ask for, is be surrounded by good people that want to do their best. And each and every day for us to this point has been that. And, I think people look at the record in awe in some ways, but to us as coaches, it's not really a surprise given the quality of people and the leadership we have, and just how united they all are in pursuing our goals this year. So it's been a fun ride so far.
Oh, absolutely. And you mentioned the road. I mean, 6 games in a row on the road. You were away from the class of 1965 arena for over a month.
No.
So, yeah. I mean, how difficult is that to maintain concentration through that? Because it's not like you guys had easy games when you were on the road. I mean, granted, there's no easy games. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, you had 2 games against Ohio State, the Yale game that we're going to talk about. Yeah. How difficult is that to maintain your concentration throughout that length of a road trip?
Yeah, in some way, I would say in some ways it becomes a challenge. The road trips stacked on top of each other, it makes for a long weekend. You get home really late on Saturday night or in the early mornings of Sunday, and then our student athletes have other things like school to worry about on their off days, and then that bleeds into Monday, and before you know it, you're starting to get ready for the next weekend. And if it's on the road, you're leaving on Thursday, and you're gone for another, consecutive 3 days. And so those do start to wear on you, I think, both mentally and physically. And, that can be a challenge if I'm, being honest about it. But at the same time, there is some benefits to being on the road. I mean, you get away from campus, you're able to sleep. One thing we know, we're able to sleep in, great hotels, and, make sure players are well fed and getting rest. And I think as a coach, you have some more control over that kind of stuff than when you're at home. So we really, quite frankly, just try to make the most of it. Try to, a lot of these places we're going, we know where we're headed. It's year in and year out. We're going to a lot of the same places, and then you throw a different one in, like going to Ohio State, as we did a couple weeks ago. But But yeah, we played 8 of the last 9, I believe, on the road, and going into a little break now, but surely looking forward to that day when we can drop a puck and play a game at Class 65 Arena and sleep in our own bed and be in front of our own fans once again here soon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, you're right. I mean, that's it. Parts of it sure are fun, but I mean, you're right. It's got to wear down. I mean, after a while, even though when you were in Ohio State, you did get to go to the Columbus Zoo. Did you go with the girls or?
Yeah, we did. We did. We made the most of the trip. I mean, we went up a little earlier. Granted, we had to travel through Western New York during that big snowstorm that Buffalo.
Oh,
So our trip took a little longer with a detour there, but we got in the night beforehand or a night earlier than we typically do, and we went to a Columbus Blue Jackets and Florida Panthers game on the
oh,
Sunday
cool.
night.
Nice.
And then the next morning, we were able to walk around the Columbus Zoo and kind of get some of those bus legs out and just kind of have a nice, relaxing, fun day away from campus. So nice to be able to do some of those things with our group and truly just forget about school and forget about hockey and just kind of be together during those times. It's I think looking back over the course of the years that I've been at Colgate, those are some of the best memories. Is the things we get to do when we're on the road together.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? I mean, you guys, you tied with Ohio State the first game. Things didn't work out the second game, but still, when you get a split really against a team like Ohio State, that's, a plus really. And then the following weekend, you head back out to New England to play Brown and Yale. So, especially with Yale being a big rival now, really, what was the mindset of the team coming off the Ohio State series going into the Brown/Yale series?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Scott. I felt like obviously the Brown Yale weekend was an important one for us. We wanted to kind of wrap up this first half of the year and leave on a good note. We felt like the quality of our work really since day one has been um, up to a high standard and we wanted to leave on a good note. And I think if anything, the trip to Ohio State and playing the number one team in the country, it really I think in some ways it was an eye opener in that it really set a standard for, where we are looking to get to and surpass in the weeks and months ahead. But also in the same light, I think everybody realized that we're right there, with even the best team in the country today, and was ultimately really pleased with how the weekend went or the two games went. I mean, coming out with a tie in game one, as you mentioned, being down a couple goals and finding our way back in that one was a nice obstacle to climb together. And then the second night we got into some penalty trouble. They scored 4 power play goals on us, but beyond that, like we played exceptionally well, and I would argue that we were the better team 5-on-5. So even
Absolutely.
sometimes you don't win the game, but you feel like you've benefited from those types of games of playing a really strong opponent. I think it's so important to schedule those ones because you just learn so much about your team, and collectively we can look at that set and know that we're going to benefit long term from it. So there was a little bit of that, and quite frankly, going into the Brown Yale weekend, a lot of confidence that we could finish the first half on a great note, come out with 2 wins, and enjoy a nice break before we come back for a strong second half.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, like I said, the team looked fantastic this weekend. You went through, we rolled pretty much through Brown, and then coming into the Yale game. I mean, they were ranked number 3 going into that game, and again, probably some bad blood left over from last season.
Yeah.
But you guys, the second period, you dominated. You,
Mm.
you really did. So how was that mindset going? Did you expect the team to come out flying like that? Is that pretty
Uh,
much?
yeah, I think given the way our season ended last year, we played Yale in back-to-back games, once in the ECAC championship, and then in the first round of second round of the NCAA tournament. It was, there was a lot of history there, in a short period of time, and I think in that short period of time, it's become a little bit of a rivalry, so to say. And certainly when you see your schedule for the first time, it's like that's a game that you have circled to play Yale for the first time this season, given how last one ended. And we knew they were a great team. I mean, we went into that weekend, they were undefeated. And so we knew it was going to be a great game. But again, that's where I think the experience of playing teams like Ohio State can prepare you for that. As a coach, like I always feel really good about how our team is going to play in some of those quote unquote bigger games. We've got great leadership. We kind of understand what's what's at stake and what we're building towards. So it's never a thought of like which team's going to show up. I have a lot of belief and trust in our group, and quite frankly, the focus really just becomes on us playing as a unit and in the best way that we can, a real team. We had to do some things that we're going to give our team the best chance to win over the course of a long 60-minute game. So I thought our team came out in the first period and was ready to go. We were committed to playing the right way, and 0-0 first, but that led us into a strong second period, as you said, Scott. And we got some great goaltending behind Murph, and we got some timely scoring, from some people that haven't scored a ton yet this year, but it was a great team win, and really pleased with how it all went.
That's a great point, Coach, because I mean, watching Colgate hockey this year, everybody knows how great the core that you have there is. I mean, Danielle Serdachny,
Mhm.
Christina Kaltankova,
Mhm.
Sydney Bard, Alice,
Mhm.
the names go on and on, Kaylee Osborne, but it always seems like every week somebody else is stepping up and is making that impact on the game. And for you as a coach, that's got to be a comforting feeling.
It is. We have so many different people up and down our lineup that can contribute. And any given day, as you mentioned, there's some people I think that score up on a regular or show up on a regular basis on the score sheet. But to see Alyssa Biederman, for example, who's played so well, come out of last weekend with 4 goals under her belt. Sammy Smigliani got her first goal this past weekend in the Yale game, which ended up being the game winner. And Sammy's somebody who scored a lot of points in this league, as a freshman and sophomore, and done so well, but it just hasn't been falling for her. And I think it speaks to the depth that we have on our team, and I think it's really easy to kind of to highlight one or two players, but truly I think it's the depth of our team that gives us a competitive advantage over some of the teams that we're facing. And so when you see those people showing up in games like that against Yale, truly it's the difference. And I think what we've learned is that we need contributions from up and down the lineup, and not just our top line or top pair D. Um, and I think if we can get that in the long term, we're going to like how it looks down the stretch and into the second half.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, and again, like you just said with Hannah Murphy, I mean, she stepped in and started both games this weekend, and to play the way she did, it was phenomenal, really.
Yeah, she played terrific, and you know, Hannah's such a calming influence back there for our team. I think when she is at her best, it's her just being in the right spots and making key saves at the right times. And um, truthfully, she's been that for our team since the day she arrived. I think at different times you know she's come out huge for us. And I can look back to, last year playing the championship game at Yale, or playing games like she did again last Saturday night. It's great to see such a beloved teammate who does the right things, prepares the right way. Just this calming influence that our team really rallies around, and really happy for Hannah to be able to pull through. But our goaltending is certainly a strength of ours. We feel as a team, whether it's Kaylee or Hannah and net.
Oh, absolutely. They're both top 5 in the country in just about every category there is. So,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, looking ahead at the schedule when you guys come back from break,
Mhm.
one non-conference game that's at Syracuse.
Mhm.
The interesting thing I was looking at, the rest of it is, of course, ECAC, but you don't leave New York State for the rest of the regular season. Is
Yeah.
that is that an advantage? Do you think?
Well, I certainly hope so. I mean, as we were talking about earlier, being on the road in the first half or the last 8 of 9 games, I mean, it can wear on you, and especially travel that we have, a little bit more extended road trips in there. It'll be nice to be in New York State here the rest of the way. And especially coming into more of the traditional snowy, wintry months, of the season. So hopefully that plays a part in what will be a strong second half. But it doesn't matter. You can't look too far. I mean, you got Union and RPI who are playing really well this year, and then we head down to Cornell, which is always a really tough series against the Big Red, and
Absolutely.
And then you're hitting up the North Country with St. Lawrence and Clarkson. So they don't get any easier, I would say, but certainly it'll be nice to not have to travel too far.
Yeah, absolutely. You got you got Quinnipiac coming into town too.
Right.
In January too. So yeah, I mean, but again, yeah, that's got to be great to finally be able to put some of those long-term travel bags away a little bit anyway. And you mentioned snowy New York State. Hopefully you traveled through the worst snowstorm already.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. That would be nice. I keep pinching myself every time I head to the rink every morning. There's no snow, knock on wood, but yeah, I can't believe we're into December and haven't seen a whole lot of it. We've been pretty lucky so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Coach, I mean, I appreciate you coming on and taking the time to talk to us. Like I said, after all the traveling you've done and all that, it's much appreciated. And, I tell everybody, if you haven't been to the class of 1965 arena to see, the Colgate hockey team play, get there, because I mean, really, it is unbelievable hockey you guys are playing out there. And truly, I'm telling you, a gem in Central New York.
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that, Scott. I think that's it's a great venue first and foremost. If you haven't seen it, it's a great place to be. But maybe more so impressive, I think, is just how these women have come together, and the exciting style of hockey that we try to play. I think it's exciting as a player when you come and you get to go out there and put the Colgate jersey on and go be who you are. But also we hope it's great for the entertainer or the entertainment value for people that are coming to watch and take it in. We feel like we play a pretty fun, offensive minded kind of brand of hockey, and hopefully it's something that people can enjoy and get behind. So we've got a few home games coming up in January, and hopefully we can get some more local folks out to the game to enjoy some of those.
Absolutely. Well, you're back in action. Let's see. Looks like January 6th against RPI, and then January 7th at Union. Both of those are at the class of 1965 arena. Let's see. Friday night's game is at 6 p.m., and then the Union game is at 3 in the afternoon. So plenty of opportunities to go out and see this hockey. But Coach, again, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. And I know I will see you at the class of 1965 arena soon. Happy holidays. Enjoy the time with your family and your time off. And like I said, thank you so much for coming on.
Awesome, Scott. Thanks for having me, and happy holidays to all you guys at 315 Hockey.
Absolutely. Happy holidays to you too, Coach. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. We'll see you. All right. Coach Greg Fargo. Yeah, I'll tell you, Dave, I've been out there covering games, and this team is amazing. It really is.
Wow.
And I got to get you out there.
I was just thinking that when you were saying that. I was
Absolutely.
going, yeah, okay, I'll put them on my schedule.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? The men's team is really starting to come on too.
Yeah.
They're starting to put things together. They're in third place in ECAC as well.
Wow.
So
yeah, I want to see that arena.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We will definitely get out there.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm in.
Cool. So why don't we do this? Why don't we take a commercial break? And then when we come back, we are going to go over the rest of the Central New York hockey schedule for this week. And we'll talk a little bit of local puck. How's that sound?
Oh, that sounds fine.
All right. Let's go to break.
All right, bye.
Yeah.
Visit My Little Falls and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the city and the area. Our mission is to generate interest in the community and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes Store, listen to our country music streaming radio station, or sign up for our weekly newsletter. Stop by today at mylittlefalls.com. You'll be glad you did.
And we're back. Back with segment 2. Here, me and Dave the Save.
Yep.
The birthday boy.
Yep.
Did you get what you wanted for your birthday, by the way?
I just wanted a quiet day. And
Did you get it?
No. No.
Well, isn't that just too bad?
Yeah, I know. I slept in a little bit.
Well, that's
and then
good.
We went off to Crazy Autos in Herkimer. And,
Oh, how was that?
yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
Food's always great.
I
there,
always,
so
yeah, that's an awesome place.
I
to
love
eat.
that place. Yeah.
It really is.
So yeah,
It really is.
It was fun.
Well,
We sat out there and
yeah.
you saw Scott Flansburgh with the Herkimer Originals came in, and so
Yeah.
it seems like every time I go there to eat, he's there.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's
Yeah. And so that was fun. And then came back here, had a meeting here, and then had your podcast. So
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad I could be a part of your birthday.
in between, we fit in some cake and
Yeah.
ice cream, and
There you go.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's talk about the rest of the Central New York hockey scene.
awesome.
Because you know what? For your birthday, it was actually a pretty big weekend, Central New York,
Just for me.
for hockey. Yeah, It
Okay.
was just for you.
All right. Yeah.
So yesterday, Monday, the new USCHO poll came out, which is kind of like the Bible of college hockey, so to speak.
Right.
And a lot of local teams moving up, my friend.
Good.
The Utica Pioneers men's hockey team has moved up to number 2 in
Awesome.
the country, Division 3. The Utica Pioneers women have moved up to number 13. The Colgate Raiders, Coach Fargo, we just had on, they moved up from 6 to 5. Hamilton College women are just outside the top 15,
Oh, wow.
just outside. Oswego men, we're going to talk about this in a second. They're at number 10, and the women, I believe, are at number 14. Yes, I didn't write that part down, but it is number 14. I did look at that earlier. And not to be outdone, the Utica Comets on Saturday against Belleville scored the most goals they've scored all season in a 7-3 win over the Belleville Senators.
Yeah, totaled.
Total.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, well, hey, whatever works, right?
Yeah,
Whatever
right.
works. But no, it was a really good weekend, and I'll tell you, Saturday night I was up at the Utica Pioneers teddy bear toss game, and the yard was packed. I mean, it was absolutely packed.
I know. I saw some pictures on social media. That was so cool. I wanted to be there, but was
Yeah,
broadcasting the Herkimer Originals game. So
right. I'll tell you, it's because they got the way Utica does. See, a lot of teams do the teddy bear toss. Some of them wait till the intermissions
right.
to, so it doesn't like stop the game. Well, with the Pioneers, when they do theirs, it's the first goal they score, game stops. And this time, I think it was about 4,000 stuffed animals came flying out
Oh
on the
my
ice.
God.
Yeah, Mick Curran scored at 5:55 of the first period, 5:55 left in the first period. And the ice was just blanketed.
Yeah.
But, the interesting thing about that is they were playing the Oswego State Lakers, and they came into that game ranked number 7.
Oh.
And so it was going to be a good game to begin with. You can tell that the Pioneers really wanted that first goal early because, I memean, they were just, pouring all kinds of shots on.
Sets the tone.
It does. I mean, I got to give Oswego's goalie, Cal Schell, a lot of credit. He held, he held his ground the best he could, but
Yeah.
boy, oh boy, I tell you. And then the Pioneers did end up going on to win that game 4-0. But I did cover that game, like I said,
Yeah.
and I was actually in the Oswego press box.
Yeah. You
Which
said
was-
there's no
which was
room.
pretty
It was
cool.
so packed.
Yeah. So, I mean, but you know what? It was great. I got to meet a lot of great Zach Case, who was on our show before. He was there. So we got to talk with him. Ben Greco, who also covers Oswego sports. I sat next to him. He said he's going to come on the show sometime.
Awesome.
I met Chris from Division 3 Hockey News. Follow them on Twitter for all kinds of Division 3 hockey news. So, he's going to come on in a couple weeks.
Great.
So you know what? It was a really good time.
Good networking.
It was.
Yeah.
It was an excellent networking opportunity. Since my hip and leg are getting all screwed up again, I can't play hockey for a few weeks. So
What'd you
at
do?
least it's a mess. It's
Oh,
it's all
jeez.
part of the
All part of the getting old.
vintage.
Your vintage.
Vintage.
Oh, sorry.
Dave.
All right,
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna put me in the antique center anytime.
Well, hey, do it in the winter. It'll be warm in there, right?
Yeah, true. Man.
Oh boy. But yeah, so like I said, that was a real good time. But we were just talking with Coach Fargo. A lot of our teams are heading into breaks now, especially for the college end of it.
Right.
So the hockey action is going to slow down just a little bit over the month of December. But you know what I figure we'll do? Let's do that schedule anyway. Now, we don't have the graphics, but you know what I did this time? I wrote everything down.
Okay. All right. Got it.
I did it. I wrote it all down. So here we go.
You know, Mike could have just forwarded those templates to me and I could fill them in maybe. I don't know.
You know what? We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah. All right.
We'll add one more job for you. Happy birthday.
I don't need another job.
Happy birthday, pal.
Oh, my God.
Oh, boy. So tonight, the Morrisville Mustangs women hockey team is at SUNY Cortland. Let's see. Tomorrow night, the Morrisville men are at SUNY Potsdam. No games on Thursday night. None. Friday, the Utica Comets are at the Rochester Americans. The Syracuse Crunch hosts the Toronto Marlies. The Syracuse Orange women's hockey team hosts number 13 Vermont, the Catamounts.
Catamounts.
I gotta find out what the origin of that name is.
That's cool.
It is
Almost
really
as
cool.
good as the Barnyard Rats.
Almost. Almost. Not quite, but almost.
I'm pushing that name.
I think you should.
I figure if I mention it enough times.
I think, yeah, good idea. The Hamilton College Continentals men's hockey team hosts Middlebury, and then the number 10 now in the nation, Oswego State Lakers. The men's team is at Buffalo State.
This is a Saturday, right?
This is Friday.
Friday. Okay, all right.
So they're out in Buffalo. So hopefully,
It's snow.
more snow.
Yeah.
Exactly, right?
You know the thing that gets me about the snow? So everybody talks about, oh, look at the snow. Look at all the pictures. All the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody put any pictures up now? Like, is it melting?
Yeah,
is it
you know
doing what is happening out there?
I don't
Is there
know.
still 7 feet on the ground? Are there big tunnels
I
everywhere?
will say this.
There's no shots out there. I'm telling you.
Listen, I will say this. I mean, I got to imagine some of it's melted. But if they get blasted again this weekend, I don't want to get the blame. That was you that said that.
Oh, wait.
Ah.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
No.
Wait a minute. Let me look at the weather app quick. Oh, God.
And this will be the last live show that we do. So we can do
Yeah. We'll be, oh, my God.
Oh, boy. But yeah, so Saturday is actually a pretty busy day. The Utica Comets are at the Syracuse Crunch. Big time rivalry game there.
That big.
Absolutely. The number 2 Utica Pioneers men's hockey team goes all the way out to Plymouth, Michigan.
Oh, that's a
for
trip.
an exhibition game against the United States Development Team under 18 team. So
how does that work? They just beating up on a bunch of young kids?
No, actually, listen. No, this
you said they were pretty good before.
This under 18 team is really good. It's kind of like the best of the best sort of a deal.
Yeah.
So these are all highly rated prospects that are, all from all around the USA. So that ought to be a really good game. Like I said, it is an exhibition game. Let's see. The Morrisville Mustangs women are at number 12, Plattsburgh. The Syracuse Orange women host Vermont. Once again, the Catamounts. The Oswego men are at Fredonia. The Hamilton College Continentals women, we talked about them earlier with just outside the top 15. They host number 15, Endicott. And the Hamilton College hockey men are, they host Williams. And then on Sunday, Hamilton College women are hosting number 15 Endicott once again at 2 p.m. up there on College Hill at Sage Rink. So actually, the Hamilton College women have got a chance to get back into that top 15.
Yeah.
Like I said, they are just one spot below.
Wow.
So they can knock
that would
Hamilton.
be
They're
16 then, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's the way it works. They show you the top 15.
Right.
And then it's also receiving
everybody
votes.
else.
Well, Hamilton College has received the most votes of the teams that aren't in there. So, but like I said, they can knock Endicott off. They're back in business, buddy.
Nice.
So yeah.
Good 315 hockey.
Yeah, and there we go. Right.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, you know what? I think that pretty much covers everything because I know you want to go celebrate your birthday.
Wow.
I'm sure you got, knowing you, I don't know. I'm sure the night's not over for you.
Yeah. I got your show to edit after this.
Exactly. It's your birthday present. That's my birthday present to you. You get to edit my show.
I'm glad we're live. It takes some of the stress off.
Yeah, right. But no, that now next week, what are we going? Thursday night, right? I think we're Thursday night or Friday afternoon.
What are we doing for the next show?
Yeah. Well, thank you, UC fan 2917. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Okay.
All right. But anyways, we won't be on Tuesday night. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
All right. So anyways.
We don't know where we said.
Yeah, we don't know where we're at anyway. So it's all good.
All good.
All right. Well, once again, I want to thank Greg Fargo, head coach of the Colgate women's hockey team, for coming on and letting us know everything about going on in the season. And of course, happy birthday once again to you, Dave the Save Warner.
Thank
we really
you.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate everything you do.
Oh, thank you. Friday the 16th is what we scheduled.
That's what it is. Okay,
Yeah,
so
all
we'll be back Friday the 16th at 4 o'clock. So that's what it was. I couldn't remember myself.
Yeah, we had a real weird time.
Yeah,
on
well,
that.
next week's all screwed up.
Yep,
Anyway.
all the holidays and stuff.
Exactly.
All
right. Well, listen, thank you so much for watching, listening. We really appreciate it. And we will see you next time on 315 Hockey Live.